Coming up on First at 4, a man pleads guilty in a 2018 murder of an elderly Pulaski County man. And traveling in part of one county just got a little easier as community members celebrate a bridge reopening.
We had a beautiful weekend across eastern Kentucky, and even today wasn't bad, but is there a change somewhere in the forecast? We'll talk about that in a few minutes.
Dedicated to eastern and southern Kentucky, this is WYMT Mountain News First at 4.
Good afternoon, I'm Steve Hensley. First at 4, a southern Kentucky man has avoided the possibility of the death penalty by admitting to a 6-year-old murder and robbery of an elderly man. David Strong pleaded guilty to the murder of Arlie Owens. WYMT's Phil Pendleton was in the Pulaski County courtroom and tells us what took place.
The crime happened in May of 2018, and in fact, police say that it was just one of a number of crimes that Strong may have committed over the course of several days in Pulaski County in that general area. Today, he changed his plea to guilty in the robbery and murder of an 86-year-old man inside his home. The prosecutor says they may never know the true motive of what took place in May of 2018, but police were very busy around the Memorial Day weekend that year, and they told us at the time the person of interest in all of the crimes was David Strong.
That is correct, Your Honor. The murder was committed during the course of the robbery.
Strong admitted to robbing Arlie Owens and then beating him to death.
To the charge of murder of Arlie Owens from that same date, May the 22nd of 2018. To that charge, do you plead guilty or not guilty?
Guilty.
They found him inside his home. Mr. Owens, 86-year-old individual who had been beaten to death. And then later, about 6 days later, in an unrelated investigation, we found Mr. Strong in what later we believe was the murder weapon in his possession.
And David Strong chose to delay his sentencing until September the 26th, and in that time, attorneys will conduct a pre-sentence investigation. Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, now back to you.
According to police, Strong was also a suspect in a convenience store robbery and a chase in which shots were fired at police. A second arrest today in a shocking Jackson County crime. The first suspect, Michael Edwards, is accused of carjacking a woman Saturday and running her over with her truck, killing her. London police say he also tried to break into someone's home and pointed a gun at them before running into the woods. He was arrested and is being held on a $1 million bond now. The victim has been identified as Tracy Clemens. Now, Richard Markham was also arrested today on charges of tampering with evidence and carjacking in connection with the case. We will have much more about all of this tonight at 6.
What a weekend. My goodness, what a weekend. We had highs in the upper 70s and low 80s. That trend continued for today, but we will see the temperatures start to creep up as we go into the middle part of the week. Right now, we're sitting at 79 in Hazard, 1 degree cooler in Jackson, 80 in Manchester, 79 in London, as well as Williamsburg, over towards Jacksboro. 82 degrees, Jonesville, 84. So not a bad start to the work week. All is quiet on live pinpoint Doppler radar. This will get a break as we go to about Wednesday. It's weekend to Thursday. That rain chances will start to ramp up. If you have plans tonight, not a bad evening. Temperatures in the low 80s by 6 o'clock. As we go into the 8 o'clock time frame, we'll be around 78. By the time 10 o'clock comes, we'll see temperatures in the mid 70s. Will stay partly cloudy throughout the evening and overnight hours. When you wake up in the morning, temperatures will be in the mid 50s, even upper 50s. Some places, especially towards Jackson and Prestonsburg, we'll see overnight lows in the low 60s. Now, coming up in the first alert forecast, we will talk more about the rain chances that are on the 7-day. Plus, are we going to cool off yet again? I'll have that answer in a few minutes. Steve.
Thank you very much, Eric. Oil prices jumped sharply on Monday as traders worry about a potential uptick in violence in the Middle East. U.S. crude rose 4.2% and closed at $80 a barrel, while Brent crude, the world benchmark, gained 3% to close at $82 a barrel. Analysts say traders are worried Iran will attack Israel after the recent assassinations of Hezbollah and Hamas leaders. Well, speaking of Israel, the Biden administration said today the timing of an Iran attack on Israel could be this week. The comments come amid new signs of escalation in the region. CBS's Nicole Skanga reports from the White House.
Palestinians cleared rubble following an Israeli airstrike on a house in a refugee camp in the central Gaza Strip Monday. It comes as Israel braces for possible retaliatory attacks by Iran and its allies in Lebanon, following the recent killings of senior Hamas and Hezbollah leaders. On Sunday, U.S. Defense Secretary Lloyd Austin ordered the USS Lincoln to get to the area faster. And in a rare announcement, the Pentagon also deployed the guided missile submarine USS Georgia to the region.
President Biden spoke today with France, Germany, Italy, and the United Kingdom to discuss the situation in the Middle East and ongoing efforts to de-escalate tensions and reach a ceasefire and hostage deal in Gaza.
CBS News has learned President Biden's top advisor for Mideast affairs, Brett McGurk, has tentative plans to fly to Egypt this week for a new round of ceasefire and hostage release negotiations.
We fully expect talks to move forward as they should. All negotiators should return to the table and bring this deal to conclusion.
But citing in part Israel's deadly strike over the weekend on a Gaza school-turned-shelter that Israel says was also a terror command center, Hamas is non-committal about Thursday's talks. The group is focused on the proposal it agreed to from early July. Nicole Skanga, CBS News, the White House.
In a joint statement, the leaders of the United States, United Kingdom, France, Germany, and Italy endorsed the call to renew talks, stressing there is no further time to lose, saying, quote, all parties must live up to their responsibilities. Coming up on First at 4, we'll have the latest on efforts to make downtown Hazard more inviting to everyone.
And after seeing a beautiful weekend across eastern Kentucky, will we warm back up into the 90s? I'll have that answer in the First Alert forecast in a few minutes. Stay with us.